Hello and welcome to the group Zoom call, the 3rd of March, 2024. Wow, what is happening to this year? Okay, great. So we've had a good week. I hope you've all had a really awesome week. I've had a very busy week on my side, doing a lot of coding and programming. So that has been major consuming this week. But we are progressing, which is really awesome. So for anybody on the call who would like to just ask any questions or put any comments in, you can use the group calls chat on Discord. Okay, I'm just going to put a message here to chat. Okay, and then anybody wants to pop a message or anything there, you can do that. Oh God, how do I spell chat? I always got to fix up my spelling for some reason. There we go. Okay, I'm sure you guys know what I meant. All right, perfect. So signal charts. Let's have a look. So unfortunately, I've only had this on for a few minutes because I've only got into the office a few minutes ago. So it's been not the best start for me this morning. I wanted to show you guys on the beginning of the session, but that's okay. But as you can see, we've got some really cool signals already that generated from these breakout markers. And the very last one was this one over here, this red breakout marker. If you watch a few minutes ago, you would have noticed that marker stayed behind. All right, so as I mentioned in the chat, there was no new assembly being released. So we're still going to work on the previous assembly or the existing assembly for this week ahead. I wanted to release a new assembly last night, but I was up until after 3 a.m., which is crazy, trying to finish work on this assembly, but unfortunately I didn't quite finish. And if I didn't get it out yesterday, I thought, I'm going to spend a bit more time doing a few more things on it, and we can actually, get something really amazing released. So if I just bring up, that's the strategy. That's not what I wanted to show. This is by the way the strategy code for the Medina Wick trader. So it's a really detailed strategy. But that's what I was just working on the back end. As you can see, I've got a lot of stuff on the go there. Let me just minimize this and bring up the strategy. So if you guys remember last week on the call, I showed you guys basically what I was working on for the week ahead. And the really cool thing is I've been able to make some major technological advancements on the strategy. So if you notice on the chart right now, this is just playback, by the way. That's the only way I can properly test all the different features, what signal charts are being used, what all the details are. So I've just been using playback on that. But as an example, like this chart that you're looking at here, you've basically got the Medina Wick trader trading, and you've got a built-in signal chart combo 11. And this signal chart, as an example, which you guys still won't have, by the way, unfortunately, because only when I release the new assembly will I release all the new signal charts too. But if I go load on my system, you'll see I've created a few more signal charts over there. And one that we're looking at now is the signal chart combo 11. So this specific signal chart, I've got shadow trading and trend analysis combined on it. And you can use DTB bars and minute bars interchangeably with this. So that means that you can load up a template like we've got over there. And in the strategy settings, you're able to actually select to have the shadow trading working on DTB bars or minute bars. And then you can have the trend analysis working on minute bars or DTB bars. So however you set that up, or whatever templates will be created, that's going to be really awesome for you guys to work with. So the cool thing now, when this is finished released, is you can switch between the signal chart. So you see I just clicked on the button there. I clicked on signal chart combo 4. Now, I just might need to connect to a live data feed just for this to show you guys, how that works. So let me just quickly do that. All right, it's busy connecting. In the background. 1 second. All right, it's still busy loading, so just give it a moment. Oh dear. Okay, I should have maybe stuck on playback for a bit, but I wanted to show you guys how the signal chart switch. So basically, the really amazing thing about this is that when this is released, when this is completed, you're able to click on the signal chart button, and it will cycle through different signal charts until you get to the signal chart that you want to use for that strategy. So, that is where I am at the moment with this. I'm able to actually program in signal charts into these very specific buttons. And I'm still just having a bit of a delay with the thing reconnecting for some reason. So we should see some loading. There we go. There's loading happening in the background now eventually. So we'll give that a few more seconds to get going. It should only literally be 1 day loaded, so there shouldn't be a lot of data on this chart. Okay, right, getting there. I haven't done any flushing out of data or this is my programming PC, so I've actually been doing a lot of work on it. So I'm probably due for a fresh installation of NinjaTrader also on this machine. So let's give us a few more seconds, and if not, I'll just switch over to the playback again. Come on. All right, so while that's loading, let's have a look at what happened last week. So last week, we had some really good results shared in there. I've had my own personal results shared in there too. So if you look through the chat, you'll see that the listing of there. I've done some Medina Wick traders trading last week. So this is on a 15-minute chart as an example, just running the same as release that you have at the moment. So running the signal chart combo 4, and I was actually using minute bars on this. So setting profits and targets, mostly default settings. I'm just trading some M and Q. Those are the results from that. Then I also did some scalping. I activated the strategy at about 6 a.m. also on the 5-minute or 15-minute chart. So trading on a 15-minute chart, using a 5-minute signal chart, and letting the strategy enter accordingly. And then it basically entered those positions. And then on Friday, I did end up trading on Friday, and these are my results from Friday. So these are all shared in the Discord. As you can see, the same settings are carried over. Trading on a 15-minute chart, using the signal chart built in there. So that's pretty cool. So, and thank you guys for sharing your stuff too. And there's been a lot of work in the baseline wick trader too. Okay, so this strategy is now loaded up on the chart. So at the moment, on my system, I've just hit a few of the filters because I want to finish these ones first. So basically, we still have, if you look at all the settings, you'll see all the settings are still the same, the main settings. And what you will notice difference now is when you scroll down, well, when this is released, sorry. I always speak as if you guys have it already, because I normally do have something sent out to you. But we're going to cover this in major detail next week on the call, because that's when you guys definitely will have access to everything. But there's our signal chart combo 4 that's already been built in, so that's already there that you guys have right now. Okay, and then the second one is the trend analysis. So this is the one where I've popped in the trend analysis to be able to use on the minute bars or on the DTB bars. Then I've also got a smoothing filter, which is actually built into a signal chart also. So not only the smoothing filter that you'll have on the trading chart, but also the option to use a smoothing filter as part of a signal chart also. And then I've got trend, and I've got a few other things in there too. All right, so I'm just going to activate this strategy very quickly. Okay. One second. Okay, so activating that, and we'll just let it set up. Sorry, a bit of a delay today with getting all these things up and running. I will just confirm how much data I have. It should literally be only the one trading day. So I'm going to bring that up. Okay, we've got 5 there, so I'm going to just reduce this down to 1 and click on OK. Okay, so that's only going to bring in today's data, which is great. The strategy should load nice and fast. Okay, I'm just checking something too on here. Yeah, so any comments, you can pop them in the chat, like I said. So that's great. We've also been working on the baseline week trader. So I know Christopher's done a lot of work on the baseline week trader. So for the week ahead, looking at these templates that have been provided to you guys by Christopher, that'll be awesome to work with. So there's been some really good results coming from this. So thank you for all the results being shared in there. That's really, really kind of you guys. Apart from that, what I've also done is I'm going to allow in the Medina Wick Trader, I'm going to allow the ability to show all the prints. So normally what happens when a strategy is obviously entering positions, is doing all things in the background, there's a lot of prints that are in place. So like here's an example of the prints. So these prints are in the NinjaTrader output. So I'm going to put a tick box inside the strategy to allow prints for entries, to allow prints for exits, to allow prints for filter selection. So, especially for the guys getting to know the strategy, you can actually load up your Ninja script output and you can see exactly what is causing the positions to enter. So we'll go through this right now. So like this is just on Sim 101. If I go into the strategy settings, that should all be active. So we'll just look at that at the second. So I just haven't got the, we're in the trading hour, so that's all fine. So the strategy is definitely there, so that's good. So when I'm clicking on the signal chart, I'm just having a lot of data issues here for some reason, like really weird data issues. Like, this is like NinjaTrader just deciding, let's just screw with Jason now. Let's just screw with him right now and see what happens. Yeah, okay. So I do have to quickly disconnect, unfortunately. So I'm just going to reconnect. So these outputs are very handy to use, because what will happen is it'll tell you as an example, like the entries will say enter long condition triggered by shadow minute bars and trend analysis go long signal on minute bars using space out trades. So it's going to be quite detailed, these reports, and it's going to give you the exact entry time. It's going to tell you exactly what the reason for the exits are. So all of this information can be used in quite detail down the track, especially if you've getting a huge database of the entries, all the prints, when trades are entering, when trades are exiting, how many are successful, how many aren't successful. That can all be monitored in real time and applied to the strategy, adjusting settings. So we're going to come a very long way in actually working with this data. All right. Like I said, I'm just waiting for this thing to load again. Wow, that's a real pain in the ass this morning, this thing, isn't it? You'll also notice that, when this comes out, that I've put the values of the smoothing average inside the button as well. So that will definitely help with understanding or knowing what settings specifically you have chosen on the chart. Okay, I have to go back into the strategy and just reactivate it on the trading chart. Wow, okay, and this is very, very disappointing. I don't know what the hell is going on this morning over here. I do not have a lot of data loaded at all. I've got, okay. All right, let me just go switch down here again, 1 second. Oh, Jesus, that was freaking a pain in the ass, wasn't it? Okay, so you'll see in the button for the smoothing average, it's actually listed there the actual values that you have. So if you want to use that smoothing average, you can actually click on that and then that'll be active. Obviously the ludicrous is on and off, but the signal chart combo 4. So you'll see at the top at the moment, it says there, currently using the signal chart combo 4, 2020 DTB bars, and it's got the values for the entries and the exits. Now, if I click that again, it's going, I've actually put a timer on it, so you can't click it within 2 seconds of actually activating. Like there's the next one, that's a signal chart combo 10. So if I go and load up a new chart in a moment, which I will do, and I'll show you what these signal charts look like in real time. That will be cool to look at. Okay, so I'm just going to remove something on the other screen here. Okay, so basically what that means is when the signal chart combo 10 is selected and you go into your signal chart and you go load signal chart combo 10, and that is the trend analysis. What will happen on this now is that any trades that the strategy is going to enter is first going to filter on this. So built into the strategy, the signal chart combo 10, that's it over there, 15-minute bars. Obviously, you can change all the values you want, but it's giving you a good description of exactly what signal chart is available. Okay, I'll just pull this to the side for a second. I'm going to click on it again. So now you'll see it switch to signal chart combo 11. Now, signal chart combo 11 is quite an awesome signal chart because what it's doing is it's combining the shadow trading with the trend analysis. And we've got DTB bars and minute bars. So if I go into my signal chart and I go template load and I go signal chart number 11, okay, which is that one over there, and it's got DTB bars and minute bars, which is exactly what we want because we're using DTB bars for the shadow trading and we're using minute bars for the trend analysis. So loading that, and then what we can actually do is we can match up the signals that appear on this chart, and it'll show us where the trades are going to enter. So you can have multiple. The idea behind this is to have multiple signal charts at the bottom of on a separate window when you're trading the strategy. And basically, instead of managing the strategy settings itself, you are purposely selecting which signal chart you want the strategy to actually respect in real time. Okay, so what it will look like for some of you who are using one screen, you'll do something like this. you'll have something like that set up where you've got a signal chart like that. So like there, for example, you'll see I've got a 15-minute bar and a 2020 bar combined onto one chart, and the shadow trading is linked to the 2020, and the trend support, the trade analysis, is basically linked to the 15-minute bar. So that's pretty awesome. And then if you click on it again, this specific template's not in use. I've got a signal chart combo 12. So that's another a chart that I'm still actually working on. So if I go to templates and I go load, signal chart combo 12, I've called this one Earth and Sky for DTB bars. Okay, and then I can make this a 2020 bar, because it's got to basically match what the chart is telling you. So that's the idea with this, guys. So that's quite an impressive update to be able to switch between signal charts and let the strategy basically act on what's happening on that specific signal chart. So that's where we're heading with this, and I'm going to be continually working on it this week to make sure that we get this thing really tested extremely well. We've got all our prints that we can compare things to and eventually use this for analysis. Cool. So yeah, what do you think of that? So I do sound a bit blasé this morning. I've literally only had 2 hours sleep. I was working my ass off on this. Yeah, okay, cool. So I'm pretty chuffed with this, being able to switch between signal charts, and there's going to be a lot of back-end work I'm still going to be doing on this to make sure all these signal charts are working efficiently, and then the strategy can basically just enter trades based on all the other settings that we have over here, and then enter according to the preferred signal chart and settings that you've set up. So for most of you, it's going to be, you're not going to have to understand all the settings. You're going to be provided templates that you can load. So just like I had, I loaded like a template for, running the back testing. All these templates will be provided down the track. And the great thing too is this strategy will also be added to the auto update feature, whereas, where somebody on the back end who's monitoring the charts in real time can update the signal chart in use according to the current market conditions and which one looks best. So, down the track, we're going to be looking at the option or looking at the availability to start a strategy and have it be automatically controlled in the back end. Different retracements, different stops and targets, all that can be controlled, choosing signal charts, all that can be done remotely without you having to do anything. As you guys know, with the SI strategies, where they can automatically update. So there's an amazing amount of technology that we already have access to that will be added to this Medina Wick Trader, as well as the other strategies that we have. And I think the signal chart is going to be extremely powerful, but not only for the Medina Wick Trader, also for other automated strategies. So say, for example, you are trading the analytical strategy and you have optimized the strategy over the past, 6 weeks, 6 months period, and you found the best settings that are effective. So what that's doing is it's giving you an historical output of results that has worked with previous data. But what I want to do now is I want to be able to select a signal chart that is going to act on current market conditions. So it's still going to enter the trades according to historical settings that have worked, but it's only going to enter in the direction of the current signal chart that you have selected. So that way, just filtering out positions that are going against like today's trend or the current market action. So that's a pretty amazing thing to go ahead. And the cool thing about it is it's just one button. I just have to add one button to to the other strategies for a signal chart, and all those signal charts can be built into that one button. So I think we're in for an amazing time ahead, with these strategies, with the flexibility and the options that are available to you guys. Okay, so I just want to switch over quickly, if I can, to the playback connection, because that is something I just wanted to load one of these strategies and just run a little bit of playback on it. And I've only downloaded Friday's data just because I'm purely testing the specific settings to make sure that everything in the strategy itself is actually working. Okay, so I'll give this a second to load up. Again, let's see if NinjaTrader plays nicely with us. Okay, looks like it. Close this window. Come on. So not a good sign if you click on things. Try not to click on things when NinjaTrader is thinking. It definitely needs to be left alone. And I've literally just loaded 1 day playback, so yeah. Give it a few more seconds. Okay, if I go to my data series, I should make sure that I haven't got any extra data loaded on here unnecessarily. I've only got 1 day, that's fine. Okay, and on here, I do want to actually close this specific window and open up this one. So if I go to the data series, so I'm going to just change this very quickly. So I'm going to go to minute. I'm going to select 1 minute and 15 minutes. So my idea behind this is to put the strategy, the trend analysis using the 15 minute and the shadow trading using the 1 minute. Okay, so I'm going to just pop that on, go apply and okay. And while that's thinking, I'm going to just disconnect quickly again, connect playback, reconnect. Sorry for the delay here, guys. This thing is not playing nicely with me today. We should have an intermission, right? Just, yeah, for God's sakes. Okay, I'm trying to force the thing, and that's why I'm starting to get these things not responding. Okay, so question quickly. Would that work with the SI2 chart? Meaning if you have 2-month settings on SI2, that'll work along with the template charts for further filter trades. Yes, exactly. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to filter the positions based on what's currently happening on it. Okay, so on this specific one, on my own PC running right now, if I look at my I'm on 8.028 on this machine. So on my programming PC, I'm working on NinjaTrader 8.0.28, just because I do not like the idea of every time NinjaTrader restarting to go and freaking sign in with my username and password. That pisses me off. So because I'm running things all the time, restarting NinjaTrader, running coding, testing coding, the NinjaTrader is starting and restarting all the time. I don't feel like sitting there putting in my damn password every time. So the old version of NinjaTrader, which is 8.028, is the last version where it can automatically restart without you having to sign in physically. Okay, so this is all up now. So let me just quickly go into my strategy settings. So if I bring this up, okay, so strategy settings. So this is where I'm going to quickly change. I'm going to quickly choose those settings for the signal chart, and then we'll just run this, and then we'll be done with the call. Because this fucking thing is not working. It's pissing me off, and I'm losing my patience over here. Okay, so we're going to use the signal chart combo 4, and we're going to use the minute bars, which is going to be 1 minute bars, and then we're going to use the trend analysis. But instead of using the DTB bars, we're going to use the minute bars of 15 minutes. Okay. And then I basically have to go into just 1 second. I have to choose the playback from the drop-down menu because we're running playback. Okay, I'm going to click on that, apply, and okay. All right, so at the bottom chart is going to be our trend analysis, and it's going to be our shadow trading, and you'll see that the cyan bars is the shadow trading, and the magenta bars is shadow trading, and the white longer bars is the 15 minutes. So you'll see that for every Obviously, for every one 15-minute bar, there's going to be 15 1-minute bars. So that's what you're seeing between all those individual bars. And I'll just press play on this. Oh my God, you are not playing with nicely today, are you? Ungoddamn believable, man. Patience, eh? Yeah, the thing is, I really should have restarted NinjaTrader and cleared everything out. Doing too many things at once. That's what this thing does not like. But I will quickly get this done because I need to get it done, and then just to show you guys what it looks like. Come on, man. Fuck's sakes. Excuse the French. I mean, you can't work like this, for goodness sakes, man. I just want to press start first and then go back into the strategy settings. So if that'll just work, that'll be really nice, you know. Sorry guys, a bit of a pain in the ass, this thing, eh? Okay, so finally you've started. So as soon as you've started the strategy, it'll tell you which specific signal chart is currently used in the settings. That's the one that you specifically selected, and we'll be able to confirm those details the moment that comes up. Okay, there we go. So we've got signal chart combo 11 shadow. Shadow is using the 1 minute bars, and trend analysis is using the 15-minute bar. So you can see I've tried to make it as clear as possible to actually see which specific chart you need to look at. And then we'll just run this. So basically what's going to happen is the strategy is going to enter based on obviously the latest trend analysis signal, and it's going to act on retracement on the 1-minute chart. So this is just one of the settings that I've saved to run, based on my my programming testing. So if we look at the NinjaScript output, as soon as an entry is actually recorded, it'll actually tell us that. So I'll clear this out. So because this is filtered pretty well with both the trend analysis and the shadow trading on a 1-minute bar, and we're waiting for a specific retracement, and we're delaying the first trade, we're spacing out entries. So there's going to be fewer positions entered on like a strategy like this, because we are filtering it out a lot more, and we're only looking at entering in select areas. So you may notice that it won't trade as much as if you don't have any filter selected, obviously. But we'll let this just go. So there was a buy. It told us there, enter long triggered, condition triggered by shadow minute. I've got to fix that. It's a spelling mistake. By shadow minute bars and trend analysis go long signal minute bars using space out trade. So it's also spacing out the entries. And then it says retracement against short position. So what basically happened is the price retraced against that short position, and that's why it exited that position. So it's giving you, it's trying to give you as much information as possible as to why, what the reason is for those entries. And then you can plot your text on your signal chart. So you can imagine in real time now, and you actually have these signal charts working. You can say, well, I want to switch to that signal chart, or I'm not happy with this chart, I'm going to switch to this next signal chart. So you're determining which specific chart you are happy with using to filter out your positions. So if that's all you guys can get out of this call, that'll be great. And then next week we can actually go into more detail on that. So as you can see, there was a sell position. The price was going down, but then it retraced against that sell position. So it actually exited that. Now there is an option inside the strategy to deactivate that, but I'm finding that this is actually working extremely well. It's still having a good result. So like I said, this is a bit of playback I'm running, primarily just to make sure every single feature is entering like it is supposed to entering. When filters are selected, it's respecting those filters, it's respecting that data series. So all of that is what's happening. Let this go just a little bit longer. Now, unfortunately, we can't get playback to run very fast because the strategy is working on each tick. We are, you're having to watch, the replay take a much longer. You can see the time. I mean, this is a 5-minute bar, and I'm going max speed, and it's still just extremely slow. So it's not something very easily to be able to back test over the last 6 months worth of data, because you'll be staying there forever watching this thing, go through this data. But surely some of the more powerful machines will be able to do that. But for now, just testing it out in real time, using these filters, and watching the data that it's producing. I find that is been pretty good. And at any time, if you're seeing the price in like a consolidation zone and you just want to enter positions without any filters, then you can obviously deselect the signal chart, and then it will act purely on price retracement. It won't be looking at those inbuilt data series. So you'll notice on this signal chart over here, if I highlight this for a moment, you'll see that all long trades, the bars will be cyan, and all short trades, the bars will be magenta. So that's how you know the indicator is in tune. So inside the indicator settings, you're able to look at those very specific values. So you'll see it says 12, 10, 4. Those are the settings for the shadow trading. So on the shadow trading, you'll see at the bottom it says 12, 10, 4. So you know that the signals or the settings that you got on your signal chart are matching the ones in your strategy. So if you're ever making changes to your shadow trading filter to choose where you want the positions to enter, then you're going to do the same on the signal chart. But ideally, we're just going to be working with templates down the track. So especially for the guys that are not too interested in the technicalities of a strategy like this, just being able to use it with a template will be more than sufficient. So you can see this specific one, it hasn't traded much. Like I said, this is only Friday's data. Like it's only 8:35 a.m. So if we watch this just for the next few minutes, we'll be able to get an idea of how it looks. And the cool thing is, by bringing up your signal chart, you can actually see where those trades are entering. You can look at your print statements, and you could see, eventually you can look at this and say, okay, there is an extra print I'm going to add here to give the shadow trading value at the time of the entry. So that's another thing I'm going to be adding in. So I'm going to put as much information as possible, but it's a really great way to minimize risk. Like you say, yeah, Ali, that's right. So you're trying to find areas where the strategy is more likely to enter positions and be successful. So by choosing this type of filter where you're only going in with the current trend, you're only going to enter positions when the shadow trading indicator is at certain values. That way you can filter out quite a lot and have the strategy only entering positions at the best possible times. We'll just watch this for a few minutes. This is the last thing we're going to cover. So if you guys have had enough, you can jump off. But if you want to watch this for the next few minutes, then that's fine. Next week, I'll have both my VPS set up and my programming computer, so I can have the one set up for playback and the other one set up to show, the strategy settings, so we don't have any issues with reconnecting and disconnecting and crap like that. It's just I haven't loaded this new assembly, or I haven't loaded this new update on my VPS yet, because I'm keeping that as as currently what you guys have. So a few different signal charts. I've got a few nice signal charts built in here. I'm gonna be using or creating a few really good ones. I'm going to be using like the take it and run signal chart. I'm going to be using the show me the money. I'm trying to create filters based on what's happening on that signal chart and apply it to any strategy. So basically any single strategy that we have running in the future, even though we've done historical back testing and we found the best settings that have historically worked, we can still use a signal chart based on the current market conditions and then choose, okay, well, we only want to enter trades based on the signals presented, or filtering out positions based on what the signal chart is saying. So I think that's going to be a major step ahead. So you see it's not entering all the time. So even there, that's a very high one. And that's because the trend analysis is showing long. You see the bar is white, which means that there's a trend analysis long. That's the last signal. So even though the shadow trading is saying, okay, well, we're in a zone to enter short positions, because the trend analysis is showing up, it's not entering those short positions. So, it's not always to our benefit. I mean, if positions entered there, they would have been very successful. But on other times where the price is just running up, it is going to save us. So what we're looking at here now is we're looking for a white trend analysis, but we want these bars to turn cyan, and then the strategy is going to enter. So same thing that happened over here is we had a long signal. So a short, we had a long signal, but then the bars went cyan, and that's why it entered. So we're trying to, that's what the strategy is doing now. It's filtering out exactly what's happening on this signal chart and making sure it's only entering in that direction. So it's not going to enter any short trades until we have this this bar basically turned blue. So you can see the value of the shadow trading indicator is plus 0.1 is 1.2, 2.1, 1.2. So that value, it's got to go to between -4 and -10 to enter a long position, and +4 to +10 to enter a short position. So you see now it's getting towards the minus. There we go. So it's in the territory of the minus, and now it entered a position. It's a pity I didn't, I have included the print for the shadow trading indicator value, but not on this specific one. I will be adding it. So this is basically going to enter position. As you can see, these bars are cyan. We're in an uptrend. It's got a little bit of a downtrend, so it's picking up some scalping positions because it's picking up that this is a very high likelihood that this is to stop hunting in an uptrending situation. I mean, it could be up, and what's happened there is the price was going up, and then it retraced against the position, and that's why it exited those positions. So it's also exiting trades. Now, even though that one didn't drop down, it's still making sure that you're not going to have long running positions, positions that could run at a loss. So it's quite an intuitive little signal chart. This, you can see, we've got trend analysis up. We had a small little diversion over here, and that's why it entered trade. So you can basically bring up a signal chart and you can see exactly where those trades are entering. And then you can also adjust settings on the signal chart until you see settings that are really, really looking good. And you might say, well, I don't want to enter between 2 or between 4 and 10. I'm going to enter between 6 and 8. I don't know. Whatever the prints are showing as the most reliable signals, because the prints are going to show the value of the shadow trading indicator and the position being entered and so forth. So yeah, I like this stuff. I mean, I like creating this. I've always wanted to have multiple signal charts, and I think we're starting to see the fruits of that. Unfortunately, as I said, the playback is disgustingly slow. I don't know why it's that bad. I mean, we are obviously dealing with a lot of information on here. We're dealing with a lot of, it's tick by tick. The strategy is not acting on bar close. It's acting on each tick. It's evaluating settings on each tick. So you can imagine there's a lot of back-end data that it's actually evaluating, and that's probably why it is slowing, was not allowing a very, very fast playback. So there again, we've got an uptrend, but we've got the shadow trading just coming down a little bit, and so that to me, what I like about the shadow trading is it's trying to tell you where they're taking out stops. So all you're trying to do is find the extremities of where they're going to take out stops before they push the price back in a certain direction. Yeah, this data is only the Friday the 1st of March. So it's not even the best day to trade, but it's the last day. I thought I'll just load one. I've only got one day in here, this whole playback, and literally it's just to test, to make sure that the positions are entering and exiting where they're supposed to enter and exit, which is why you're seeing so many prints. But then using all these prints, I was able to really able to decipher all the entries properly, because those prints are extremely handy. So it'll be good for you guys to use too. All right, so I mean, yeah, I'll let this go for a bit longer. But yeah, I mean, the strategy is just becoming more and more powerful. It's becoming more and more, yeah, it's just really incredible. So we don't have to look at the signal chart anymore. You got an idea for the signal chart. So I'll just increase the actual trading chart itself, and then you can see what that is doing. And we'll look at the performance after this is finished. So I know it's taking a bit long, but it's 12 p.m. so it's only got a couple of hours left. I'm going to be working on this the strategy still this week. I don't know exactly when I'm going to release it, because I'm testing every single filter meticulously. I don't want to have anything not working like it's supposed to work. So I'm going to have a little bit of a delay releasing this, because I want you guys to have it just right. And also I want to make sure you guys are not going to be running something that is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So you're going to have access to all of these prints, and they're going to have additional information in here. So for example, when an enter long condition is triggered by the shadow trading, it's also going to print the value of the shadow trading indicator when the entry happened, as well as the time which it's doing. Now imagine when we have the breakout markers built into this, and we have Fibonacci levels, and crazy. There's so many different things that can be programmed into this as signal charts. I mean, you could really spend a lifetime working on this, because in essence this strategy is a very simple strategy in the fact that it's only working on a fixed value retracement. But apart from that, obviously you got all the technology in to delay the trades, to space out the trades. You've got all different other values to include that make that, that correspond with that retracement, or they work with that retracement. With regards to optimization of this, man, it's not possible to optimize the strategy, purely because it's working on each tick. It's working with multiple data series, and NinjaTrader does not know how to deal with multiple data series with optimizations. It just cannot do it. So down the track, probably have to build my own platform to be able to handle this type of thing effectively. But that's long down the track. So you can see that whole time the price was going up there. There's no short position. So we're not being sucked into short positions, because the shadow trading, the trend analysis is filtering it out, saying, okay, well, we only want to look for long positions. So we're only going to wait. We're going to wait for those cyan bars. So if the price is pushing up like that, it's only going to go long. But, down the track, I always say down the track. But, another thing that I'm looking at doing is putting on a little reverse button. So at any stage, you can say, okay, well, the price is definitely trending up. I can see that right now. Instead of it waiting to enter short positions, I'm actually going to enter long positions and follow this trend up. And then that could just be a temporary thing that you do, and then you can deactivate it and wait for a reversal again. So it's a strategy that you can really, play with and customize it to your exact trading style. I might just leave the signal chart up until we see the next position. See, there we got, we getting the price come down a little bit. See the retracement gap saying 0. So, I mean, that's ready to enter, but the signal chart is telling us, wait, not yet. And not much trades over the last between 12, but we don't need to have a lot of trades, right? So there we had a very brief, there's the cyan, there we go. So now we're starting to get entries, you see? We're starting to get entries now because we're in an uptrend. There's a small retracement coming down. The shadow trading is saying, okay, well, this is a good opportunity to jump in based on those settings. It's still entering more positions. So it's gonna keep monitoring. As soon as it's in positions like this, it's gonna keep monitoring the retracement. It's gonna keep monitoring where price is. If the price is retracing against the position, all of that is being calculated all the time into the strategy. And as soon as the price retraces that value against the trades, and we're in a zone where it's picking up those values, it's analyzing a lot of information, all the time. It's like really analyzing a lot, which is why it's running very slow. See, we're not in a position at the moment. Okay, we briefly had that thing. Okay, there it exited that position. So it's realized, okay, this trend looks like it's over. I'm getting out of here right now. I'm exiting that position. And that's what it's done. So again, it's acting on the retracement. We're still in an uptrend. Entering more positions. It's obviously not, okay, there it's got back into the zone of entering positions. See, I've got max entry 20, but that's not even needed. Literally, you only need a few positions on this because we are spacing out the trades. Another thing, when you're spacing out the trades, you actually have a, if you're not spacing out the trades, you actually make more money, believe it or not. But yeah, this spacing out the trades, it's analyzing, optimizing, checking all. It's not optimizing, sorry. It's monitoring the retracement all the time, just seeing where the bars are, how far price is away from where they should be, where the entries are, how many ticks away, what the current trend is it likely to reverse? I mean, all this stuff is constantly being analyzed. And we'll be able to analyze it even more down the track when we use AI to, process these outputs, because that's going to give us a lot of information on there. We'll be able to process all this information somehow, and then determine how many entries are happening, at certain levels of shadow trading, how many entries are happening, based on the different signals. So there we go. It realized over there, okay, we're going to get out this position. The trend is changing. We've had a retracement against the position, so we're exiting that position. So, I think it's pretty awesome. I'm extremely proud of what has, what we've done over here. You can see there we had we started having the magenta bars. So it's like, okay, well, we're still in the uptrend, but we're starting to get divergences in the opposite direction. We're starting to get retracements in the opposite direction. Okay, so let's exit this. Because now obviously we're looking for a different signal. And one thing I've really fixed up and made amazing is the spacing out of the entry. So you're never going to see a situation where the trades are, if you are spacing out the entries, they are definitely going to be spaced out very well. So there's extra checks put in place for the spacing out of the entries. Okay, so we had 4 p.m. on Friday. This is where we are at the moment. We're currently, if we look at the signal chart again, we had the one signal over there. We're currently out of the zone. So when the bars are gray, we are neither. That's the in between, right? Okay, so now we're on a downtrend. You see how we've got a downtrend right now. We've got a downtrend signal. We still got the shadow trading doing this. It's going to start looking for an exit right now. It's going to start deciding on exiting. So it's just waiting for a retracement against the position, and it'll enter or outside trading hours. Okay, well there, it didn't have time to do that. So there we go. That was a bit of a run. So if I just bring up this, specifically, and remember this is just one day pulled out of nowhere. I just selected this day because it was the last day available, and just looking at the specific trades that it entered on for that, there were only 22 trades, and yeah. So I mean, now this, I'm not saying that this template is something that's a set and forget. I mean, nothing is. I don't believe anything is truly set and forget, unless you have somebody behind the scenes who's actually changing your settings for you and changing, what's happening. But, I think this is a lot closer towards that, of just allowing stronger filters to filter out positions and work from there. Cool. Sorry, guys, for the long call and lots of shitty moments where NinjaTrader doesn't want to play ball, but we'll get there. I was chasing this thing on playback. I was only using playback, restarting, and I was having no issues like we had earlier. I think I was just trying to push it and switching to live and all that crap. That was what caused the problem. Okay. Yes, absolutely, Mike. To stop a run in the opposite direction, absolutely. That's a really a powerful thing to be able to do. And these signal charts are going to allow for that. Okay, guys, thank you so much for jumping on the call, on the video, and I will keep you updated during the week. So in the meantime, guys, just work on the baseline wick trader. Imagine down the track too, having this button on the baseline wick trader to say, okay, well, here's the baseline wick trader. You're going to activate the strategy based on your past optimizations. And guess what? I want to select a signal chart just to make sure that the real-time positions are monitoring the current market conditions. Magic. That's going to be powerful. Okay, guys. Chat to you later. Have an awesome week. And keep an eye out on the chat for the... on the chats. Keep an eye on the chats for the Medina Wick Trader, any announcements. And as soon as this is available and I've done more thorough testing and I've added all those prints and the ability to choose those prints or not, because I don't want to just have the prints. I mean, it takes a lot of energy for prints to print. I mean, I think NinjaTrader, every single time that there's a print in a strategy, that's obviously slowing down NinjaTrader considerably. So you want to be able to also deselect the box to not have any prints if you are comfortable with the settings that you've chosen. You know you set it up properly and you've completely understand what you are selecting in your strategy. Then you can disable the prints and it'll probably run a lot faster. Awesome. Okay, guys, thank you and bye-bye.